First of all, thanks a lot for all of you able to come here and all those well-wishers who were unable to come. Core team who have traveled all the way from Washington DC, my thanks to them as well as to all of you. So please give a big applause for the core team that they have traveled from all the way from event of education, Edu Girls in San Francisco Bay Area, and for your commitment to support this cause. I've been supporter of this Edu Girls for a long time, and few months ago, Anand Seth, the founder and chairman of Edu Girls, who will of course speak later on, we thought that we would like to have a chapter of Edu Girls in the Bay Area. With the goal in mind, we got together a small core team in the Bay and who were committed to set up this first meeting. And thanks to them and all of you, this vision has turned into reality today. This seems the second chapter of Edu Girls. With your help and support, we will turn this to be the biggest chapter in US.
Wow.
I would like to give a big applause for the team. I will now hand over the charge to MC Serena. She will take over and she will let you know what's going on and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you again, as Satish ji said, for attending our program tonight. It's so nice to see everyone. We thought maybe before we even begin the program, it would be nice to start with some introductions. If there's anyone in the audience right now who would like to just introduce themselves briefly, please do stand up. We can just do it without a mic and informally, and maybe say where you're from and what your involvement has been with Edu Girls or this cause. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. Hello everyone, I'm Shubhra Garg.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm Shubhra Garg and I'm from the Washington DC area. I retired about 2-3 years ago, and I was looking for a cause where I could donate my time, and I found Edu Girls. And I started working with them for about 9 months ago, and it's been truly an inspirational journey for me. Yeah, and I hope you'll join us.
Is there anyone else who can introduce themselves? Or who would like to?
Hello, I'm Vinita Agrawal. I live in Saratoga, and my cousin Shubhra Didi, he actually introduced me to Edu Girls and come here. And I also wanted to tell about my son. He's also looking one charity organization for his school walkathon. So I'm not sure whether we will go forward for this, but we will look forward for it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jagruti, please.
Well, my name is Jagruti, and Satish bhai, thank you for bringing such a nice event. I had no idea about this one, so this is a first time exposure to what you are doing and looking forward to learn. But before even we jump to that, I request the attendees that I don't know how many of you will take this message home and work for it, but this is a beautiful cause. Please spread the word, because that's what we are here for. Because many times in US, by the way, I'm a radio jockey on 92.3 FM, and this is what I realized, that we have such a busy schedule of our lives, and especially when I'm in shower, I have best thoughts on the earth, doing some charity, but by the time 1:32, you are more worried of delivering your project and the work and what your boss thinks. So priorities are there, but we don't get time. So these are the people who will give you the opportunity of your dream to contribute to somebody's life. Because we see a lot of big names in the industry, Mandela, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi. Nowadays, a lot of yesterday on KBC there was a boy, Neil Ghosh, he's doing Robin Hood Army. We look at that and we think we should have, but we just think it remains in our brain. These people do it. So the only thing we have to do is just give little support, that's it. We don't expect you to lead and do or jump into it. Even if you do little support, spread the word, because educate the girl in slums is the most beautiful thing to do. Because I'm from Bombay, I have worked in slums a lot, I have traveled in slums a lot, I have been part of RSS. And we have gone to interiors where people walked 9, 10, 15 miles only for one ek khada pani ke liye. They used to walk like 10, 15 miles. We used to help them. We have done a lot, but there is yet a lot to be done. And sitting miles away, even if you can influence one person, take a pride in it, why not? So for me, I'm not going to think like what it does or not. I'm sure it must be doing a great thing, which I'll come to know. But even spreading the word makes a lot of difference.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
I am amazed that we get promoters of an institution either coming from India and making money here, right? And they made a success in their venture, right? I don't have doubt, but you have to prove yourself in future that being executives in World Bank and you are sacrificing the time for doing this thing in India, which is not only love, but it is a credit to you people. And I sincerely wish that this institution grows with more attachment on education, as I said, right? And I'm taking advantage of that one, that you, who is the institution who is helping girls, you should add to make the standard of education in India, right, more than accepted, right, because that is our asset. Education and manpower is India's asset. So having this much experience of United States in a worth institution like World Bank and other experience, right, so if you add all that also, that will be a complement to your activities and financial also of institution. And they are giving, I understand they are giving women services. They don't spend somebody's money, but they are spending their own money today. And future also, I don't think they need money to be spent by them, but institutions should grow. Thank you.
So education is a very basic need of the Indian people, and I congratulate and thanks Mr. Satish Bhai and Mr. Anand to support such a good cause for the special for girls. We support everybody, boys and girls, but you especially support the girls in Jaipur and slum area. So it's a very best, very good cause.
So my wife just spoke. My name is Sanjay Agarwal, and I also am a resident of the Bay Area. And so we are pretty busy as Jagrati said. But we also are thinking about how do we involve ourselves into some things which we can believe in. And obviously, education for girls is one of the things which what really does in my heart. So we are here to discuss what this organization is for. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Viren Gandhi. I'm also supporting this kind of an organization. It is called Indus, and it supports the underprivileged kids music and art program, and we do raise the funds by different events. And I also had helped Second Harvest Food Bank bagging the grocery for the poor. So these are the things which is very close to my heart. So it's awesome that you guys are doing this, transforming lives in the slums for the girls. It's a good cause.
My name is P.K. Daura. I'm 82 years old.
Young.
During my such a long life, I have found there are three types of people. Some are dreamers. They have got very nice thoughts, but they do not have manpower and the resources to execute their thoughts. The other type of people, they cannot think. They need some thought to work upon. They are the workers. And the third type of people, they do not think, they do not work, they have plenty of money. If all these three come together, there is nothing that cannot be achieved. So the effort should be in the direction. Find out these isolated three people and combine them together and you will see whatever you want to do, you will be able to do. Thank you.
My name is Shailesh Mehta. I am resident of USA, but I stay in Ahmedabad, India. And I thank Satish Bhai to bring me here in this institution. The very idea of educating the girl is very inspiring to me. I'm an engineer and my wife is a teacher, tuition teacher all the life. Education we are connected with from beginning, but at the individual level. This institution or gathering gives the cause to go step forward to make it more viable for the society. And I congratulate all the members and active people who are into it. Whatever we can do from our side, we could commit to do even little more than what we are doing. Thank you.
Now I'd like to turn it over to Anandji, who, as we've mentioned, is the founder and chairman of this organization. As a brief introduction, he retired as the senior management from the World Bank, and after that in 2012 started Edu Girls. He was inspired to do this work by his mother, which I think he'll probably speak about a little bit more. And since then, Edu Girls has educated 800 girls a year, is now educating 800 girls a year in India, and has raised over $500,000 in a very short amount of time. So it'll be very exciting to hear about this success and also the future plans of rolling out Edu Girls in San Francisco and beyond. Most recently, Edu Girls opened in Nepal and Pakistan as well, starting new locations beyond Jaipur and Bangalore, which already existed. So we'll hear more about the organization. Anandji, if you want to take over.
First of all, thanks goes to Satish for engaging this community. He has enormous trust, apparently, with all of you, and we are benefiting from the transfer of that trust from him to us. What I would like to do in the next 10 minutes is perhaps enable you to do a better job of what Jagrati encouraged us to do, is to spread the word. And there are so many institutions that are working for very worthwhile causes. So people, first thing they ask you is what is different here as opposed to a lot of other good work that is going on. And we support a lot of those institutions as well. So I'll talk a bit about what is unique.
If you take the mic.
I'll talk a bit about what is unique. And the unique part of Edu Girls is, of course, focusing on education of girls living in poverty. But we don't stop at education. We do the education, but we stay with them till they actually become financially independent. And that is the only unique thing about us. Now, that forces us to go slowly. We don't see results for 12, 13 years, but it forces us to stay with the girl and solve whatever the problems that she comes up as she grows through life to make sure she gets into a job. So that's the unique feature about Edu Girls. Now, we know education is important, but girls in traditional societies suffer both from a gender bias, and when that gender bias is superimposed with the poverty bias, then they move so low down in the set of priorities for the family that they get left out. Despite, it's not that the mothers and the fathers in India don't know the value of education. Every maid would tell you, I don't want to be a maid, but I'm a maid because I didn't go to school. So they know the value of education, but something comes in the way. And I'm going to try and bring out to you so that you can then send the message better. The perspective of a girl living in poverty, how she sees the world. And that will give you a sense of how we approach the problem, because we try to understand how she sees the world. Daughter of a servant who used to work in the household of the founder of Vimukti. And one day, when Lavlina ji, that's her name, she offered this young Seema a glass of milk because she was looking at her own daughter having a glass of milk. And she said, no, milk is for my brother, he goes to school. And that one comment so bothered Lovely ji, because now the bias is ingrained in her thinking. that I don't deserve a glass of milk because my brother, he goes to school, he deserves everything. So that's what led to, that's the Seema that I'm talking about. But the next few slides are just my construct of how Seema would see the world. So this is a real neighborhood from which this school runs buses to bring children to come to school. And this is her neighborhood, and this is her home. Can you turn the lights down a bit?
Yeah.
Might be a little better. And the point is that the income earner is the father who runs a rickshaw, and there she is on the left, and there are siblings on the right, and you will find that she is at home, not at school, while the older brother is at school, because somebody has to look after the siblings. Let's go to the next slide. So for her, for a girl living in poverty, this is what homework would first mean. You got to get the firewood, you have to help out with the cooking, you have to help out with the cleaning, you have to help out with maintaining the home. And it's not, again, that the family doesn't realize the value of education. The circumstance is such, when both mother and father are out there trying to make a living, then somebody has to do the rest of the thing that a family needs for survival. And it falls on the girl child. Now, of course, we also know in our Indian system, when we get old, we go to our son's house rather than our daughter's house. So there is a little bit of vested interest in promoting the boys rather than the girls. So, if you put yourself in Seema's head, this is how she feels about various things. Can you see the next slide? She says, and she knows, her parents know the value of education. They're not unaware of that. But she also knows that in the hierarchy of things at home, she is low on priority for family resources. If there's anything surplus, it will first go to the boy, then come to her. And she knows that her parents are very concerned about her safety. She hears about the stories about girls leaving home and getting raped and getting molested every day. And that's their first priority, is to somehow transfer the responsibility of the girl to the next family, get her married while she's safe. And then the last, which is the choice that the family makes.
Should I go to next slide?
But her own thinking is, I want to learn, I want to earn, I want to contribute to the well-being of this family. And I'm sure she's tortured every day knowing what her heart wants and knowing what the family cannot afford to give her. So, to summarize, let's go to the next slide. There are 4 barriers to my education, Seema says. First is physical, financial resources. The second one is I don't have the time because of demands from the family to devote to school as much as I should. And the third one is, as I mentioned, concern for security. And finally, she knows if she goes to school and if she's not learning, she'll be pulled back because there are other things to do. And these kids are all, this is a real school under the flyover of a Jaipur road, where kids don't go to government school, they come here because at least there's a teacher here. And so what she's saying is, if there's no quality of education in the school I'm sent to, my parents will sense it, they'll pull me back and say, go work as a maid, bring some money for the family. Sure that Seema not only gets to school and gets an education, but actually gets into a job eventually, because that's what she wants to do. I want to earn and I want to support my family. The gathering is little, but the hearts are big, the outreach is huge. If Jagriti took on our agenda and she talked about it on the radio for a few weeks, the whole world will know about it. Each one of us has an independent network of friends who trust us. If you, as a result of what we have to say and what we have to show, you believe that what we're trying to do is useful and sensible, we're not wasting anybody's money, then you will join the campaign. So we are a very focused organization. We only do education of girls. There is so many development agendas to pursue. We don't have the expertise to pursue all those agendas. We only focus on education of girls. And the other thing we do is, we are ambitious, as I said. We don't just give them computers, we don't just train the teachers, we don't just give them uniforms. We prepare them to become an income-earning member of our society. Now, we have started in 2014. We started with this kind of a gathering in my living room. $9,000 were pledged, and this year our fundraising is $200,000. When we started, there were 23 girls. Now we are 800 girls. Our goal is by 2020 we will be 1,000, and by 2050 hopefully we'll be talking about 50,000. But it all depends on how much confidence we can generate in what we do. We don't have overheads. Not one penny is spent on anything personal. We travel on our own, we pay our own way, we don't have paid staff, and we are very happy to let you know that to educate one girl for 1 year in our program takes 67 cents a day. Simply 67 cents a day. That's all it takes. One cappuccino a week, one round of golf a year. That's about all it takes to educate a girl through our system. Now, what our big hope, of course, is that as a result of today, Satish ji will not be alone. He has tremendous energy, he has a tremendous network, he has a whole lot of trust in your society. What I'm really hoping is that as a result of today, we will have around him 2 or 3 people, some young, some old, some men, some women, some Gujarati, some non-Gujarati. We'll blend amongst and find 2 or 3 volunteers, 2 or 3 people who will work with him so that this start is a bit like the start we made in Washington in 2012 when there were 20 people in the room, and now when we do our gala there are 250 people. We raised $2,000, now we raised $200,000. So I'm hoping that he will not be alone, and some people in this group will join him and the core team. Sarina has been helping out, and we hope that this will grow. Surprised that Doordarshan Delhi decided to do a story about Vimukti School. So we decided to show you that video rather than the one that we had made ourselves.
हर बच्चे को शिक्षा का अधिकार देने के लिए सरकार प्रयासरत है, लेकिन कई ऐसी संस्थाएं भी हैं जो इस कार्य में अपना योगदान दे रही हैं।
बिल्कुल, और बात हो रही है जयपुर की विमुक्ति संस्थान की। और ये संस्थान जो अंडर प्रिविलेज्ड बच्चे हैं, खासतौर पर जो गर्ल चाइल्ड हैं, जो बच्चियां हैं, उनको शिक्षित करने की कोशिश कर रहा है। और 2004 से ये संस्थान काम कर रहा है, और अब यहाँ पर लाइब्रेरी डेवलप हो गई है, बाकायदा लेबोरेटरी है, और बच्चे स्कूल की ड्रेस पहनकर आते हैं, सब कुछ फ्री में।
शिक्षा हर बच्चे को मिले, इसके लिए जहां एक और सरकार अपने स्तर पर प्रयासरत है, वहीं कई ऐसी सामाजिक संस्थाएं भी हैं जो इस कार्य में अपना योगदान दे रही हैं। ऐसी ही एक संस्था है विमुक्ति, जो जयपुर के प्रताप नगर में विमुक्ति बालिका विद्यालय संचालित कर रही है। इस विद्यालय में झालाना, डोंगरी, बजाज नगर सहित आसपास की कच्ची बस्तियों की आर्थिक रूप से कमजोर छात्राएं शिक्षा प्राप्त कर रही हैं। शिक्षा के जरिए इन बच्चियों में आत्मविश्वास भी आया है। इनमें से अधिकतर का सपना भविष्य में शिक्षक और डॉक्टर बनने का है, ताकि वे गरीबों की सेवा कर सकें।
Once upon a time, there was clever fox. It was searching of food. She saw a crow on a tree. The piece of bread in its beak, and opened its mouth to sing. A piece of bread fell down. The fox picked it up and ran away.
मेरा सपना है ज्वेलरी डिज़ाइनर बनने का, तो मुझे डिज़ाइन बनाना बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
मुझे बहुत अच्छा फील होता है स्कूल में आकर, और मैं देखती हूँ कि मेरे जो घर पर लड़कियाँ रहती है और मेरी लाइफ में बहुत अंतर है। तो मैं आज इस स्कूल में ना होती तो मैं बहुत कुछ मिस कर सकती हूँ।
2004 में 25 छात्राओं से शुरू हुए इस स्कूल में अब 550 बालिकाएं शिक्षा प्राप्त कर रही हैं। स्कूल में नर्सरी से 12वीं तक की शिक्षा दी जाती है। यहाँ एक पुस्तकालय भी है और साइंस लैब भी।
एक हमारे यहाँ चौकीदार रहता था, और उसकी लड़की मेरी लड़की के साथ खेलने आती थी। तो मैं लड़की से पूछा करती थी अक्सर कि बेटे तुमने दूध पिया या तुमने कुछ खाया, तो उसका हमेशा जवाब ये रहता था कि मेरे को ज़रूरत ही नहीं, क्योंकि मैं स्कूल नहीं जाती हूँ, और मेरे भाई को खाने की ज़रूरत है, उसको घी की ज़रूरत है, दूध की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि वो स्कूल में पढ़ता है। जैसे ये अल्फ़ा बीटा चल ही रहा था तो फिर मुझे लगा कि इवनिंग में स्टार्ट करके इनको ये बच्चों को थोड़ा सा ये सम चिल्ड्रन जो है उनको एजुकेट करना चाहिए। जो ये विमुक्ति संस्था या विमुक्ति गर्ल्स स्कूल हमने स्टार्ट किया है बिल्कुल एक ड्रॉप है ओशन में, बट जब तक ये एक एक ड्रॉप भरेगा नहीं तो आप कैसे आगे बढ़ सकते हो।
बेटियों को शिक्षित करने के लिए जिस तरह से ये संस्था कार्य कर रही है वे सभी के लिए मिसाल है। बेटियां देश और समाज को बदलकर प्रगति के मार्ग प्रशस्त करेंगी और विमुक्ति जैसे संस्थान उन बेटियों की राह आसान बना रहे हैं। गुड न्यूज इंडिया के लिए जयपुर से नीलू शर्मा की रिपोर्ट, डीडी न्यूज।
Take a question. Go ahead.
What's the connection between Vimukti Girls and Edu Girls?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, we were going to go to Q&A anyway, so that's
Sure.
a great first question.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
What we do, we don't run any school. We don't run any school. We don't have that capacity from Washington to be running schools. So we look around, looking for schools which have a vision which is close enough to ours, and then we help them develop their business plans and market their business plans and grow. So when we looked at Vimukti and realized that some of their vision and what we were thinking of was together, they had only 120 girls at that time. And we worked with them. They were only going up to grade 7. Progressively now they have become a high school, and they have now got 650 girls. So we basically support the growth of schools. So we have identified another school in Bangalore, and thanks to your help, we have identified another school in Nepal, which has the same kind of vision, focusing on girls and working with them. The main thing is staying with them till they get the skills to be an economic force in the marketplace. Not just to get a high school diploma and disappear and get married. So that's the role that we play. Thank you so much. It's a very important question and something I totally missed talking about. So when we adjust to the circumstance, that is one circumstance that we have to adjust to. So Vimukti, for example, government schools in Jaipur run for 200 days a year. Vimukti runs for 278 days. But daily school is only 3.5 hours, while the government schools are 5 hours. Mainly to accommodate this particular situation, where the girl can now do the chores at home and still get extra hours, extra days, so that over the year she has the school year complete. Now the other thing is, these kids have no support back at home. They are first-time learners, parents probably never went to school, and as it is, they have other demands to do. So by having those extra 78 days, you got extra time studying. So that is one circumstance we adjust to. The other one I probably mentioned was security. The Vimukti campus is an all-female campus. And on top of it, they run a bus every morning. They run 9 buses every morning to the slum to pick up the girls, and 9 buses every afternoon to take them back. So that sense of security as well as saving time. If you had to do that system of travel through public transport or what have you, you lose another hour or so. So that also meets that particular circumstance that you were talking about. Thank you. Aditi is from Jaipur, and I think
they also provide one meal to the child to help, give that, save that child or the family with that one meal. And someone brought up the question about, I'll pay for everything or hunger, what have you. So they actually provide a meal. The other thing that my own aunt has done, I know she does this and does it occasionally and as often as needed. She goes to these homes of these families and actually verbally speaks to them. She actually talks to them, convinces them. What Uncle was saying about extra 78 days so that they can actually go continue to do their jobs, working in homes as a servant in India, as we call them, house help, maids, whatever. But then she runs an afternoon program so that they can complete their chores in the morning, and in the afternoon they come to school, and then, as Uncle mentioned, they drop them back.
So scholarships are used to make sure we achieve the final goal. So those girls who are not academically bright and need to pursue other skill development to bring income home, the tendency in India generally is, I want to go to college. So to provide the incentive for vocational training, the scholarship is 100% of cost. And if they have to go to a residential facility to get their training in some other town, that cost is covered. For the college part, since everybody wants to go to college, there is a criteria. If you get 80% grade in your high school, you get 100% scholarship. If you get 50% grade, but you still want to go to college, don't want to go to vocational, you get 50% scholarship covering your costs. So whatever is the outer pocket that the girl has to cover, it comes to about 20,000 rupees a year still, despite being free. But the main thing is, get the word around and the rest will follow. That's my belief. And I hope we are able to answer some questions today. We have publications, we have videos, we have websites. We can continue to stay in touch, but getting the word around, and the tax exemption here and there, both sides. Yeah.
We are a 501(c)(3) organization.
And the lot of company provide the matching. At least my company, VMware, they provide the matching for this education.
Yes, that is another thing one can do. If you can share with us their criteria for matching, we can apply for them. We have got World Bank matching, we got IMF matching, and any other organization that provides matching, we certainly go through the procedures of filing our application and getting ourselves endorsed. Yes, that's another thing that's possible. We have so when we do our fundraising, there are tick marks. Where do you want to put your money to? So you choose a school, you choose a program. So I want to finish. Anyone wants to volunteer to be with Satish ji as he grows this particular seed and waters it till it blossoms? Do we have any volunteers? Can we name some volunteers? I want to formally induct you into our family. For taking on this responsibility to carry on the good work. But she's going to carry the flame forward. We'll disappear.
Right.
Oh, by the way, the girls in Jaipur go out to the market and they buy these bags. And they actually personally, individually decorate these bags. These are wine bags. And we sell them for $10 for 2 bags. And you're not buying two wine bags. You're buying 2 weeks worth of education. So please take some of these with you to remind you of Vimukti. And of course there are these caps, those who like to wear these caps. But really to kind of give you something to take home to remember the girls who are depending on these kind of little efforts to get their education. All those arrangements are in place. As long as we have the meeting of hearts, that will happen. People have already left some checks behind, that's fine. We have a website where you can pay online, and people can donate securities if they want to. We have arrangements to accept securities as well. And people can make requests if they want. All those arrangements are there. But the main thing, Jagriti ji, is meeting of the hearts. Once hearts are met, the rest will follow. And we are just grateful for this opportunity to explain to you what we're trying to do.
I am kind of emotionally blocked at this moment. So the only thing that I can say is thank you very much, and I look forward to your support and your commitment for the cause that we are meant to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.